And hello out there. Why does this look so glary? It looks dusky. I don't know. I hope it ain't the camera. In any event, oh, this is not looking right at all. Hold on. I thought that would have done something. This is not. This is looking cloudy to me. But in any event, I want to come to you quickly. See that? Okay. I'm utilizing the set, honey. We've had a television show that was taped here in the hotel, so you guys will find out who it is later. Right now, I don't want to just give it all away, but yeah. But I want to come to you very quickly and have a few words with you. We all know that tomorrow, November 6th, honey, is a very important day as the entire country is about to partake of the voting process. And we want to make sure that, we want everyone to go out and to vote and to do their thing and this, that, and the other. But I'm about to take a perspective that may not be so popular. And in this, I want you guys to hear me so that as we move forward, we want to make sure that we understand exactly what we're doing, okay? Well, before I go and do anything else, let me say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and all those other good things to all of you. For those of you who don't know who I am, this is Demetrius Big Meach Taylor, darling. And you're dishing tea, my darlings, right here and right now with Big Meach. And I want to dish a little tea and dunk a few crumpets with you babies real quickly because this is very important for all of us, okay? As I said, we're embarking on this election season. This is the midterm elections. But what I'm about to say may not be a popular topic or whatever. And even though I do agree with everyone who is saying, go out to vote and make sure you get out there and vote. And if you don't vote and this, that, and the other, that you are, dishonoring your family and you're dishonoring all those who have gone out and lost their lives for the right to vote and things of that nature. And that's all true. I totally agree with that. At the same time, what we have to take into consideration is this. For those who choose not to vote, we cannot bully them into utilizing or exercising their right to choose. We cannot bully them because we think that they ought to. We all understand what the voting privilege is. We all understand how our ancestors have gone forth and fought and this, that, and the other. We all understand how our grandparents and great-grandparents and so forth, how they had to fight for the right to vote. And it's not that old. The Voting Right Act was just passed, in 1968, I think it was? So we talk about 50 years ago that we as blacks had the right to vote. You know what I'm saying? So in understanding all of that, what we have to do is encourage folks to utilize their voice and to utilize their vote. At the same time, honey, we cannot bully them into doing that if they choose not to. We cannot sit down there and continue to browbeat them and to sit down and to admonish them because they choose not to vote. Now, yes, is it, it's a disgrace and carrying on to us who feel as though that the vote is everything. Yes, I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, we cannot become the bullies and we cannot become, the oppressors because folks are choosing not to vote, for whatever reasons. If they don't feel as though it qualifies, some have religious reasons or whatever, because like Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't believe in voting and they don't get into the political process and things of that nature. So because of that, we cannot bully folks into doing or into voting because we feel as though they should. And yes, I understand that it feels apropos to do. We should carry everyone out. And yes, at times we sit up there and say, well, had you voted, you know, so and so could have won, or this, that, and the other, because they only lost by X number of votes and blah blah blah. But we cannot become the bullies and the ogres and carry it on, trying to make someone use their vote, because then we become just as bad as those who were fighting for us not to vote. You know what I'm saying? So in saying all of that, I want you guys to be aware of your behaviors and be aware of how we're treating others when it comes down to this vote and carrying on. Yes, I totally agree. If you don't vote, you don't have the right to complain about shit. And yes, I stand by that wholeheartedly. At the same time, we cannot bully someone to using their choice or bullying them into voting if they choose not to for whatever reasons. You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, I want us to look at this election very seriously and very carefully, because we have to make sure that we get the people out to counteract those who don't want to vote. You see what I'm saying? We have to come out there to represent the numbers so that we can take up the slack for those who don't come out to vote. You know what I'm saying? It's just like with everything else. When we are fighting the oppressor, and we are fighting oppressive entities, those who are on the front line and those who are willing to fight, we always got to fight for the ones who don't want to help. We always have to be on the front line to fight for those who either can't, don't, or won't help. You know what I'm saying? And just because we're fighting doesn't mean that we're fighting individually. We are fighting for the collective. So as long as we keep that in mind, we have to understand that, yes, my vote is to make sure that the candidate who I believe is going to sit down and represent all of us can get in. If you're in the city, in the state of Georgia, we're voting for a governor down here. I've done the early voting, and my choice was for Stacey Abrams. And not only because she's a black female, and not only because this is going to be historic completely, if she decides to, when she wins, I'm a claimant, when she wins, and she becomes the first black governor in the country's history, in the entire country. She'll be the first black governor, first black female governor. Let me stress that, first black female governor. So we have to take that into consideration. I said a lot of y'all are coming in and out and carrying on. Let me acknowledge you guys who will come in and say hello, because that's probably why you are bouncing in, because I haven't said hi to you. So we have Keith and Kenneth and Dominic and Terry and Vaughn. Hello to all of you. Kato, what's going on, baby? How are you? Kitty girl, you up in here too, I see. Nick, Leo. You know what? I need to talk to you for real. We'll talk, because I need to come back on the radio show, and then I got something personal I need to ask you. So we'll talk in a minute. So yeah, hey kitty girl, what's happening? So in any event, that's what's going on here. Okay. Like I said, not only is Stacey Abrams going to be historic or historic with this particular win, but also she's the only candidate that's making any kind of sense in this election. Her opponent is talking in circles. He is not. He is not pro anything. And when I say pro, I mean as in moving forward. He's with the status quo. He is completely for the oppression of people and carrying on. For those of you who are in Florida, and what's his name, Anthony Gillum. Yes, honey, he's on fire. For those of you who are in Maryland, Benjamin Jealous, the former NAACP president, he's on fire. There's a couple others that we got a number of African American children, honey, who are on fire, and they're setting this motherfucker up. And we need to do our part to make sure that those particular voices get heard. For those of you who felt as though Obama didn't do it for you as the president, well, honey, we have other candidates and carrying on that can get the ball rolling on a local level, that can sit down there and we can galvanize our resources and things to make that particular happen. And I'm sitting up here wheezing. Hold on, let me take a second. hit from my inhaler because I am wheezing something hateful, child. But nonetheless, we're going to make this happen. Okay. Yes. Now, what it is, now, and okay, now let me go here. I've got to come clean, y'all. I did a post before, and within the last 2 years, I have gained like 50 pounds, maybe 60 if I'm being realistic. It's probably 60, but I need to take it right back off, and I've done that because I haven't been taking care of myself as far as my work schedule and stuff. I've been working, and I've been going to school, and all of that seems to have been overlapping. And sometimes I've had to where I've had 16 and 18-hour days, and I'm not sleeping properly. So, and when I get to school, trying to stay up is trying to stay alert in class. I've been popping a lot of candy. It's just been candy and sugar, and things of that nature. So within the last 2 years, I've gained this weight. And not that I look bad. I don't look bad at all. I don't look bad. But what it is that I'm concerned because I've had y'all know my history with my health and carrying on as far as these surgeries and things. And I've gotten myself paranoid. So if you're in the Atlanta area, I'm going to start exercising. I got to get my ass up and do it. I keep talking. Right now it's just a bunch of talk. But I need to get my ass up, and I want to utilize the facilities that we have at my complex because we got a full gym down there, child. I've been living this motherfucker for 10, 11 years almost, and I've been in it. I think I didn't even walk the treadmill. I went and turned it on and looked at it. But that's because at that time I was walking at the job and stuff, so I didn't use the stuff at the complex. However, if you're in Atlanta and don't want to pay a gym membership, whatever, get with me. I live in College Park, and we can sit down here. Y'all can come in with me, and we could utilize the gym facilities there and make it happen. They got treadmills, they got free weights, and they got a whole new free weight system down there, child, that floored me, and I didn't even realize that. But I've got to get together, and I've got to start cute because I want to be cute for Big Boy Pride in April. Plus, I'll be 49 this coming March. So, we want to start what we need to do so I could usher in 50 real cutely. Ooh. So that there is that. But that's just a personal note that I wanted to sit down here and say. I got more people that came up in here. Let me say hello to the people. Wait a minute. Somebody has made some comments. Vaughn, you say we're high and stuff. and stuff. Okay. Leo, you said, I sure do. We need to talk. I have a lot to share with you. Okay, yes. You know what? We'll talk in a few moments. Peter has come up in here. Leo, you said, I voted early in Houston. Keandi has come in. Haji, hey, Hodge, what's going on? Adrian, hey, handsome, what's going on with you? Anthony, you said, well, I didn't know you had asthma. I know, darling, I know. Because I don't wheeze and carry on like I used to back in the day, honey, when I used to hit this thing on a continuum. And since I gained some of this weight, I've been having to use my sprayer a lot more lately, and I don't like doing that. So I want to get back down to 290 and be perfect. 290 is perfect for me. And at this particular stage of the game, that's where I have to stay. Going into the next half of my life, I need to stay up under 300 pounds in order to feel my optimum. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Leo, you say, well, the early voting was insane, but it was very inspiring to see. It's same here because those of us who got out to vote early or whatever, we were out in record numbers. And so you had to get out there now because, they're trying to sit down there and to suppress the vote. And it's sad that we're still dealing with all this voter suppression issues and carrying on where it can be kind of, hell, y'all watch Scandal. Shit, you see what they did in Scandal to get Fitz up in the fucking presidency and carried on? Come on. Now, if they did it on the television show, honey, what makes you think they're not doing it in real life? Okay. And you say, well, Anthony, you got to do your work. Okay, come on, Iyanla. I have to do my work. Okay, I am here to help you do your work. Ha. Okay, so yeah, I've got to do my work because I've been procrastinating a lot and just doing a lot of talking, and that's cool. But I do want to continue on um, to make sure that you educate yourselves on the ballot. You know, go online. They have the sample ballots available in your district, in your area, so that you know what you're voting for. Because not only are you voting for the candidates, you're also voting for. There's referendums that's on the ballots. I know here in College Park, Georgia. If you're voting in College Park, Georgia, not South Fulton or whatever, it's only in College Park. They have a referendum where they want to open up liquor sales on Sundays so that way they can start selling liquor at 11 o'clock in the morning on Sundays. I say yes. Let the city make the damn coin, child. Y'all gonna buy the liquor anyway. Why you trying to kill yourself on Saturday night to sit down there and get all your liquor when if they open it up on Sundays after church? You go up there, get your liquor, call it grace, and that way they can get all their tax money and carry it on. And you could get it from the privacy of your home, and you don't have to worry about having to get to the clubs because y'all know everything here closes at midnight on Sundays. The bars don't stay open late and stuff on Sundays. They close at midnight. So if you're able to go and buy your liquor and stuff, honey, on a Sunday, you could be at home and enjoying the comforts of your home without having to risk a DUI and all those other kinds of things. So that's something for you guys to consider. But let me go here because I wanted to give my comments on a lot of the foolishness that we're seeing with the telephone calls to the police and things. This is becoming so outrageous to where it's now become a political platform because we're not understanding why is it that our Caucasian counterparts, particularly white females, have been doing all this craziness. It's been a couple of white males, but it's been white females who've been doing all this, and it has just gotten off the chain. And so because it's off the chain, honey, what can we do to combat this? What can we do to sit down here and to make this this epidemic go away, child? Are they scared? Are they fearful? Are they just showing their true colors because of what the current administration is allowing folks to do because of his rhetoric? He feeds into those fears. Now, we can sit down there, we can call him racist or whatever. He can deny it all he wants to. But if he's not a racist, the racists believe that he's racist. That's the line that, what's the name, gave. And Mr. Gillum, honey, when he was debating his counterpart, he sat there and told them, you don't say that you're racist, and I'm not calling you a racist, but the racists say that you're a racist, honey. They believe that you are. So in saying all of that, what can we do to move forward to make this thing happen so that we don't sit up here and have to continue to have the police called on us for idiotic reasons? You know what I'm saying? The child sitting up there babysitting the kids, the white kids, and the woman called on the kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm called on him. The woman who called on the baby, honey, talking about she was sexually harassed by a 9-year-old. Bitch. And I'm still mad about that because her half-ass apology just didn't sit well with me. You see what I'm saying? And in dealing with all of this, you know, we have to do something about it, and it's open for discussion. And let's get into some serious answers about it, not just, you know, knock them in the head or kick their asses or whatever. But we need to do something about that because, see, it's a resurgence of what happened to our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents and stuff, 50, 60, 70 years ago. You know, when walking down the street, you had to make sure you had your papers on you and this, that, and the other. If you were free, for the slaves who were free, they had to make sure they had their papers. And depending on the person, the papers didn't matter or not because, if they didn't like you or felt as though you was an obstruction, it would become an incident. And that's what we're having here. With the woman who sit up there and blocked the guy from trying to go into his house. He sat up there and showed you the key, but that wasn't enough. Now you got to sit up there and ask him this. He done told you the building manager's name. That wasn't enough. Now you got to follow this man to his damn apartment. See, we're having a resurgence of shit that had taken place, you know, back in the day. And it seemed like the more things change, the more things stay the same. And we need to do better with that. We have to let our voices be heard to say we're not going to take that kind of shit no more. Okay? We're not going to take it. We need to make sure that um, that we um, empower ourselves to know what all of this means. And see, here's another thing. Let me get on this because, oftentimes I always hear folks when they are encountering a police officer or whatever, or whenever they feel they were doing wrong, somebody always say, "I know my rights." Bitch, do you really know your rights? Do you really know what you're supposed to be about and care? Do you really know? Because I think sometimes we just get caught up in saying something like that because you're trying to tell the police officer you can't this and you can't that, with me, and carrying on. And okay, that's cute. But understand, we're in a climate now to where you have to do your research. You have to understand what's going on. You have to really, 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 really know your shit. You see what I'm saying? Let me go here, and I'm going to close after this because I didn't want to stay long. I put up on my post it was an interview that Chelsea Handler did with Ellen, and I cut it up in pieces because I wanted to get certain points out. And the particular piece that I put up there was the point where she was talking about how white women need to be sisters to black women because in the voting process, black women have always voted for how did she put it? They've always voted for what was in their best interest or who had their best interest. She said black women have always been ahead of the game, and they've always known who to vote for and this, that, and the other. She said we, white women, we need to be sisters. So when we vote, we're voting for their best interest as well. That's a hell of a quote. And it is a hell of a thing to say. And I'm like, okay, wow. But here's my question, because oftentimes we hear this from the conscious community. They feel as though that, a lot of our struggles and stuff have been hijacked and usurped by white women and carrying on. And they feel as though that with them hijacking it, we'll end up becoming a whole different kind of thing because they would be the ones to get the coin. They would be the ones to get government funding and make the name for themselves. And yet when it's time to disperse the coin, it doesn't trickle down to African Americans. And why is this thing so damn cleary? This is looking so cloudy to me. Okay, am I looking cloudy on your end, honey? Because this is just looking so fucking cloudy to me. So, what do you say about that? Do you feel as though that she has a good point? Do you feel as though that we as black folks can use allies? Back when the Black Panther Party was up and running, they told black folks, you can't join they told white folks rather, you can't join our organization because we need to learn how to do this for ourselves. But what we need you to do is create your own and then come to the table so that we can have the numbers. Okay, I am cloudy, Tony. See, I'm looking at this, and this ain't looking right now. And I wonder if my camera dirty, cause shit, this is cloudy as hell. Okay, and I can't fix it right now, and I don't know what to do. So, that there is that. So how? Yeah, I tried that earlier, but the whole thing of it is I had to go up in here because I got my jacket on and carrying on, and I can't get up in here to get to that lens. So, yeah, I can't. And then I'm already into it. See, I'm putting my finger up into the camera and all that kind of stuff. So I got to take the phone apart to really get up in here. So, yeah, thanks, Dominic. I'm going to get it. But anywho. So what do you feel about that? Do you feel as though that we need our allies, that white folks can actually be allies? Or do y'all feel that, okay, it becomes the whole great white hope thing again? Okay, what's it, around my mouth? What about around my mouth? Child, no, it's cloudy up in here around my eyes for me. Don't make me sensitive, child. Talking about around my mouth. Girl, bad. Anywho, so do you feel as though that thing is the thing? Because I think that we definitely can have Caucasians as allies, but at the same time, we have to make sure that that we hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? So that it doesn't become, because we have a white face to lend to the organization, now we could be taken seriously kind of jazz. You know what I'm saying? And that they get the coin in their name or whatever, but then the coin don't help the communities that it's supposed to serve. We see a lot of that happening too many times, even in our own. We have a lot of organizations that get the coin, but they don't serve the communities they're supposed to serve. So that there does a huge disservice. But with Chelsea Handler, when she said what she said, how do you guys feel about that? Go to my wall and scroll down. You will find the posting that I did, because that is everything. I think when she said it, I was like, oh my God, that's sickening, you know. But because of that, it is something that we need to consider, something we need to look into. Okay, what if, white women bonded together as sisters for real with black women and actually voted for, actually voted with black women's interests at hand as well. Okay. What you say, Leo? We need allies, but we can't invite everyone to the cookout. I totally agree. I totally agree. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like you don't invite all your neighbors to your house party, do you? Because certain motherfuckers just can't come to that. You just can't get up in here, honey. We'll wave and say hey, 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 or whatever. But no, you may just be the music. You ain't gonna understand the music. You don't play cards. We're not into what you into, or whatever the case may be. Lord. However, we do need to get our allies together, but which is a hell. But we do need to galvanize allies or whatever, because there's strength in numbers. I always look at the ACT UP movement when HIV/AIDS hit and was hitting the way, to where we were losing so many people at a time. And how ACT UP became big was because each particular voice that was ostracized. Women with HIV couldn't get any medical health care, whatever. Transgender with HIV couldn't get the services or whatever. So they formed their own groups, and then they came together to say, okay, we are women, who act up and carrying on and this, that, and the other. And it was always what that was. We have our set of issues, but we're going to act up together, because you're going to hear them, you're going to hear us, you're going to hear them, you're going to hear them, so that you hear everybody's story, because this is affecting everybody. And that's the kind of activism and advocacy that I think that we need in order to make shit happen. We need to make sure that we don't get lost in trying to make everything a one-size-fits-all. I think oftentimes we get caught up in thinking that there's one solution, and the solution is supposed to be a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, and it's not. As myriad as the people are who form these groups are carrying on, that's how many answers that can be possible for people to understand. You know what I'm saying? So we have to come out of this mentality of, I'm in it to win it just for me and mine, and then once I get mine, then, okay, deuces, you get yours. Okay, Dominic, you said, what? Remember, white women knew what's right, but many times throughout history, they've been threatened by friends and family for helping. So we need to learn that not all are against us, yet we got our not all are against us, yet we got our own, you. Okay. How about that? I like that. Okay. Yeah, because see, when you forget about you and forget about what your power is, when you diminish your own power base, child, then hell, what good is anything? You know what I'm saying? You're only as good as your word. Your word is supposedly your bond. But hell, if you're not sitting up here fortifying it and having the actions behind what makes your bond strong, then hell, and then you don't empower yourself to do it. So if you're waiting for somebody else to do it, honey, that's not empowerment. That there becomes charity. That there becomes a welfare case. You know what I'm saying? And for those of us who don't like the welfare system, why would you allow yourself to become a welfare case? Anthony, you say, all right now. Leo, you say we need that across the door. However, we need to remember that the feminist movement was started by white women. Yeah, that's true. That there is true, and in that a lot of black women have been hurt by that movement because it was white women trying to tell them about how to not live with a man and how to be independent and carry it on. We had a lot of issues with dealing with that within our communities. However, in coming out of that particular space or whatever, we're finding that a lot of women have empowered themselves to not take it anymore. Hell, they done set up there and did their thing so that they could become self-sufficient. But in that self-sufficiency, oftentimes they forget about the man, and then they got so hung up on I don't need a man, I don't need a man, to where hell you done got all this success and you don't have one. Huh. Oh, okay. What you say, Leo? We also have to drop the victim and savior mentality. Oh, don't you make me dance around the church. Don't you make me. If I had my crumpet, see, that'd be I'd taking my crumpet and dump it in my crumpet because that was delicious right there. Because yeah, we have to stop coming out of Rescue Ranger 99 going to say Penelope Pit Stop off of the damn train tracks. And bitch, you saw that train coming a long time ago. Why in the hell didn't you scoot your ass off out the way? Okay. But we really, 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 really have to let our voices be heard, child. So listen, I'm going to allow myself to. It's about time for me to take a break, and I'm going to take a nap because my eyes just got heavy all of a sudden, and I don't want to sound like I'm gibberish. However, oh yeah. Plus, I got to go walk these floors. I'm not feeling that this evening. But in any event, I want you guys to make sure that when you go out to the polls, that you remember, because you have the right to vote, because we all are out there to honor our grandparents and those our forefathers and all those who feel as though it was worth the effort of having their voices heard. Remember, in them fighting for that, they also was fighting for freedom, and we cannot take somebody else's freedom away from them by bullying them to go vote when they don't feel like it, or bullying them and criticizing them and basically dehumanizing them for not using their vote. If that's not what they want to do, honey, then we have to accept that and move on. Okay, that's not something that you do. All right, cool. But in me and my house, we're going to get up and we're going to vote and this, that, and the other. And hopefully, who the candidate that we won't get in office will sit up there and understand your needs as well. So this is how we have to be on that proactive crusade, honey, in order to make some things happen. And then after these elections, child, we have to make sure we do our part to get the minutes and go down there to the council meetings and go down there to hell here in Atlanta. We're a capital city, so hell the governor's mansion and carrying on is right in the heart of the city. So hell, we can go there at any time. Well, not any time, but during their gospel hours of gospel, during their during their thing up there and thing. So okay, that's that. But here, let me get up off of here because, like I said, I got to go do a couple of runs. And I don't know, for whatever reasons, my eyes are getting tired, and I don't want y'all to think I'm sitting up here talking and falling asleep in the middle of a sentence, honey, but I will. So let me get off the phone and save my dignity, honey, so that I can make this thing happen and then do what I need to do to get folks there. So having said all that, darling, you may finish all of your tea because the tea has been dished. And you've been dishing tea, darlings, with who? Big Meach. That's funny. But okay. I will talk with you guys soon, honey. Share this video with any and everybody, and let's make this damn thing happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's take it all the way. Oh, I just did it, didn't I? I love you guys back. I thought I hit the finish button, but I didn't. I enjoyed you too. Thank you, baby. But yeah, I thought I hit the finish button, and I didn't. But that there is that. I got to do my commentary because I got to answer. I got to call Funky Dineva Ross and Nessa Girl. So honey, I'm gonna put that up a little later. So y'all make sure y'all go to my YouTube page for that one. Okay. And that be that. So I'll talk with you guys soon. Peace.